If you've been to the advanced, civilized, technological country Wakanda like I have, let's get into some spoilers for Black Panther. Cue the intro. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fandoms Anonymous. It's time to get down for this Black Panther spoilers review. Let's go ahead and get into it, man, because we got a lot to talk about. The movie starts off with the story of Wakanda, how it was found, just the artistry of the intro or the prelude or the prologue to the movie. It kind of had this. We learned that it was the way that they look at certain things technologically wise, like in the beginning scene where they're getting ready to go get Nakia out of that convoy that she was in. They had, or it was done by vibranium. It was kind of like this grain that gave off images where they were able to. T'Challa was able to dissect what was going on. Like he was able to pick the truck up to see, okay, this is the truck that Nakia was in. It kind of had that same look to it, kind of like this sandy, grainy feel, but it told a story, and it was just beautiful. It talked about how the comet, the asteroid or comet, crashed in the part of Africa that created Wakanda, and what was there was the vibranium, and how the Wakandan people have used vibranium to build their world. Wakanda is literally a world within the world. It's set apart from everything else. It's set apart from all of the countries, nations, whatever, what have you. Wakanda is set apart. We go straight to 1992 in Oakland, California, and we get the father of Eric Killmonger in Jobu. He's in California. T'Chaka comes to play him a visit, and he's in the original old school Black Panther costume with the gold accents, which was just beautiful. We got an actor that's playing a young T'Chaka. Wakandans, to understand that they are Wakandan, they have under the lip a glowing, I guess you could call it barcode or a mark. We'll put it like that. We'll put it like it's a mark to know that they are Wakandan. We found out that Njobu had been a traitor. It was like halfway traitor, halfway with the plan. He was living in California, and apparently Wakanda had spies or what would they call them? Warmongers all across the world, watching out for certain things to make sure that nobody was trying to come after Wakanda. But what Njobu, his plan was that he wanted to be able to have technology from Wakanda to help the people of America, because he was living in what was going on, like the drugs and all that type of stuff. So he basically is the one that told Claw how to get to Wakanda, how to get in Wakanda to get some vibranium and steal it. That's how Claw got that brand. What happened was he was supposed to be reporting back to T'Chaka. I gotta get these names right, y'all. T'Chaka. He's supposed to be reporting back to T'Chaka, and T'Chaka told him, "Look, you're gonna have to come back and face your crimes." And that's what we saw at the end of that. They went on back and faced the crimes. Come to find out that the young guy that was with Njobu was Zuri, which is Forrest Whitaker's character. And he was like, "How did you know all of this?" And then Zuri revealed himself to be Wakandan by pulling down his lip and showing his Wakandan mark as well. So that was just epic. That was epic in itself. Let's go ahead and move forward. We get T'Challa and Okoye in a ship. Okoye. Whew. That's a black woman right there. That's a black woman right there for you. I ain't gonna lie. All right, they're going to save Nakia from. She wasn't in capture. She was in a convoy on a secret spy mission, trying to save this group of women that had been captured by this warlord or whatever. T'Challa jumps out of the ship and throws these spheres to disable the cars. And what we found out later from Shuri, that these are EMP beads where he can throw them and it can let off a small EMP blast to just disable anything electronic. The technology that they have is just amazing. When we're on the ship, like I was saying earlier, they were able to show a form of what was down below them. T'Challa was able to pick up different cards and saying, okay, this one I'm disabled, this one I'm disabled, this is the one the Kia was in. I thought that was just epic. Before he left, Okoye told him, "No, don't freeze." He said, the key is down there. Whatever you do, don't freeze. And he said, "I never freeze." Sure enough, once he got down there, from the scene that we've seen in the trailer a lot of times, this is the scene where he's kicking the dog sees him up in the tree and he's barking and he basically kicks everybody behind. He sees Nakia and just freezes. He's like, hi, just freezes. And then Okoye had to jump down and then she had to come help out and she was like, did he freeze? She was like an antelope in headlights. It was just hilarious. As they arrived in Wakanda, I wanted to cry. I did. As they went through the trees and the force field disintegrated for them to go through, and we got to see Wakanda coming over the horizon. This tribal song reminiscent of the Lion King. Hey, hey. I was like, oh, we here. We're Wakanda, everybody. We're Wakanda. Wakanda literally is hitting in plain sight. Y'all, you've seen a bunch of trees bunched together. It might be a country up under them trees, the way Wakanda is. You just literally go into it. You just literally go into it, and it's there. It's crazy. All right. The city itself is just so beautiful. Like it's just when you come across the horizon, it's like this place you always wanted to be. You felt at home. You felt just this. It was just, oh, y'all understand, man. It's just beautiful, okay? All right. We get Angela Bassett, full force. Angela Bassett. Angela is here. She is the mama. We get Dora Milaje. We get Shuri. They going over everything, and T'Challa tells Shuri got these EMPBs. She said, whatever they need some improvement. He was like, oh, they work fine. He was like, well, no, everything with technology always can use improvement. And she was like, all smart, walked off. Then she flipped them off. And then Angela Bassett, Marjorie, she knew she flipped them off. She said, Shuri, and she put her hand down. Hilarious. Shuri was the comedic part of this movie, man. Shuri was not playing with none of this stuff. So we go to London and we get Eric Kilman. He's at a museum looking at some artifacts. He ended up seeing an artifact that he knew was made by vibranium. He was talking to one of the museum curators or leaders, and apparently he poisoned this lady to cause a scene so that Clark could come in as if he was an ambulance and they could steal this vibranium axe. It was an axe that was all rusted, but it was actually vibranium. Something happened with Clark I didn't like. We're going to get to that a little bit later. Way later. All right, they stole the artifact and they left. We get to Wakanda to see the ceremony of T'Challa becoming the Black Panther. We see all the beautiful colors of the different tribes was amazing. Like there are many tribes of Wakanda that represent many parts of Wakanda. Everybody has a different role to make Wakanda one whole and one beautiful place. Zuri, which was the spy for T'Chaka back from '92, which is Forrest Whitaker's character, he was there. He's the shaman or the witch doctor of the tribe. You may put him in that regards. Zuri gave T'Challa a potion to start the ceremony. Basically, this potion the ceremony that was about to happen was T'Challa, of course, is the natural birthright for the place of King and Black Panther. Okay, but this potion was going to be used to stop the powers of him being the Black Panther, so it would be a fair fight with whoever decided to want to challenge him to be the king of Wakanda. Okay, nobody challenged. He went through all the different tribes, all their names. They all decided not to challenge. And all of a sudden, here come M'Baku and the white gorilla tribe, the Jabaris from out of the mountains of Wakanda in the snow. M'Baku was beating his ass at first, I ain't gonna lie. But T'Challa prevailed and he went on. They went to the next part of the ceremony and they gave him the heart-shaped herb, which we saw for the first time. And it was ground up and made into a potion, and he was basically to take him to the ancestral plane. They then buried him in this dirt, and he crossed over to a tree full of Black Panthers. One of the Black Panthers came down from the tree and took the form of T'Chaka. This was straight up Mufasa and Simba from the Lion King. Y'all can't tell me that that's what this was. I gotta remember, Disney is over Marvel Studios and over these movies of the MCU. The dialect that they use is just so beautiful. It's just like this crisp dialect that almost seems so real. He asked him how to protect Wakanda. He told him to surround himself with people that he trusts. We got to go more into the city, like walking down through the streets, and it's just beautiful. Everybody's moving around. You have people selling stuff, markets and people and families. Just oh my God, it's just awesome. Nakia was talking to him and she said she wants to help others outside of Wakanda. T'Challa says, no, it's dangerous because you see what's happened to us before. We don't want people to infiltrate us. We don't want people to try to take us over. We just need to stay how we are. You know, even though, we could help, but we need to stay how we are. One of the things inside the ceremony was Shuri. that when they asked who was going to challenge, and before M'Baku and the Jabari came out, Shuri raised her hand. Everybody was like, the princess, she wants to challenge. She was like, basically like, nah, I don't want to challenge. I just want to go ahead and get this over with. Anybody else challenge, just go and get this over with. And that's when M'Baku and everybody in Jabari showed up. Hilarious, man. Sure just stole the movie for me. The women in this movie really stole the movie. Women were put in a part. Women were put in heads of positions. Women were shown to be powerful. Black women were shown to be powerful and just who black women are in real life. Y'all don't understand. Powerful black women like my wife is a powerful, my mama, my sister, all the women that I know are powerful black women, and this is what Wakanda, this is what Black Panther gave us, and throughout this movie, uh, they have technology where they can get transmissions on their watch. It's basically a little watch that they have made of little beads, and they can get like holographic color transmissions. And of course, you know, that's powered by vibranium too. So they can see the person face to face. Like my wife called me and was like, you need to go to the grocery store and get up some chicken. And you're like, all right, I'll go get some chicken. And then it go away like that. Kind of like some Star Wars type stuff. They found out that Claw stole the artifact because Shuri contacted T'Challa. And they're basically finding out that he's going to Korea to make a sale. So they're going to go ahead and go after him. Wakabi, whose parents were killed when Claw last invaded, told T'Challa, look, you need to bring that man back. He killed my mom and dad. You need to bring him back. We're going to the lab where Shuri is working. The lab is inside of the vibranium mound, which is just beautiful. The vibranium is this beautiful blue color. Of course, we saw vibranium back in Age of Ultron, where Claw was giving it over to Ultron, and this was our first known thought about Wakanda. And if you didn't know, in that movie, we were supposed to see the vibranium mound, even just a glimpse of it, because they actually had photos of it. She shows him the many forms of tech that she's working on, including earpieces with unlimited range, where they can make contact with people with unlimited range. The new MP beads as well. And she looks at his shoes. She said, "What are those?" Like the shoes, like these old Uncle Black leather sandals. He said, I just want to honor the regular tradition of shoe wear. So she gives him these new shoes that go along with the Black Panther suit. She said they're soundproof, and he stumps his foot on the ground and it doesn't make any sound. She said, guess what? I call them sneakers. Oh my God, I just about lost it. Shuri is just a comedic genius as well as being a genius. That's probably why she's so funny. She's smart. So they travel off to South Korea. They go to the casino. T'Challa sees Ross and he goes over to talk to him. T'Challa laid some chips on the table at the casino. While he was there, T'Challa told Ross, like, look, Claw is here. I'm leaving with Claw with you, like it or not. Ross was all like, diplomatic. I don't need to do that. They stir up something, blah, blah, blah. But T'Challa told him what was going to happen. He told him, like I said, he told him he was leaving with Claw no matter what. He walked off from where he walked off and actually won in the place where he put his chips down. In comes the Stan Lee cameo. Stan Lee comes in. He says, I'll just take these for safekeeping. If you don't, I'll just take these for safekeeping. It's hilarious. Stan Lee, he's going to pop up in the Marvel movie somewhere. I wonder where he's going to pop up in Infinity War. Like, I really want to see where he's going to pop up in Infinity War. Claw comes in the casino and Okoye was made by someone because they could tell she was talking on an earpiece. A fight breaks out. Claw escapes. Okoye and Nakia are fighting in dresses. Like, this gets getting down in some dresses. Nakia and Okoye, they got in the car to chase Claw, and they put one of those remote control pieces that Shuri was showing us earlier that she would be able to control the vehicle if they put it on a vehicle. We move forward because y'all, this is just so much. Y'all, this movie so beautiful. Black people were there, white people were there. Everybody was just having a good time. But we move forward. They alert Shuri that they have control of this vehicle. Shuri gets into a model of the vehicle. A model where she's able to press on the gas and accelerate and brake and turn inside the lab in Wakanda. Inside the lab, Shuri's able to control this car, and T'Challa gets on top of the car so that she can speed him up and get him in the chase after Claw. The car chase went on amazing with Okoye stopping cars with her spear. T'Challa ended up stopping Claw's car. Claw ended up using his arm to blow up the car that Nakia was driving. The car blew up and Okoye saved himself with her spear. And Nakia was still sitting in the seat, sliding down the hill in the seat, still turning the wheel, which was hilarious. They threw in a lot of comedy in this movie, even though this movie did have a serious undertone, a more lighthearted undertone, but they did throw in a lot of comedy in the right places. It wasn't a comedy in the wrong places. Ross questioned Claw and he told him the truth about Wakanda. Killmonger ended up coming in, blowing down a wall and pulling Claw out of there and escaped. T'Challa went after him but was blasted, and he saw a panther ring around his neck. The same panther ring that his father gave to him in what he took from his father's hand in Civil War. The same type, okay? In the fight, Ross jumped in front of a bullet to save Nakia, and they took Ross back to Wakanda to be healed. When they got there, Shuri said, "Oh, good, another broken white boy to fix." We already know the first broken white boy, and that's my man, Captain Sebastian. I was about to call him Sebastian Barnes. Captain Bucky Barnes. Oh, man. Bucky, as we know, he was left in Wakanda at the end of Captain America Civil War. We get the Claw and Killmonger ended up killing Claw and brought him to Wakanda, to Wakabi. Made his way to Wakanda because you got to remember, let's go back real quick. And Jobu was Killmonger's father, okay? It was his father. And Killmonger's real name is Injakata or something of that nature. I can't remember exactly, but that's his father. So when T'Chaka killed him, he left him there. He left the boy there too. You know, instead of bringing him on back to Wakanda, he knew he was Wakandan, but he felt like, okay, if I bring his son back, they're going to be asking where's Njobu. So to just leave all this alone, T'Chaka just left everybody, just left him there for dead and went back to Wakanda. So he's been in America this whole time, training and learning and mastering himself, going to school and getting an education and working in the military to one day come back to Wakanda and want to and try to take his rightful place on the throne. Because he does have a right to the throne as well, with him being a prince. His father was T'Chaka's brother. Therefore, the grandfather was over there. Therefore, either T'Chaka or Njobu could have become the Black Panther at one time. Okay? So T'Challa went to Zura and he told him about his uncle Njobu. And we found out that T'Chaka actually killed Njobu because he tried to kill Zura, and they left him there. Ross woke up and Shuri told him all about vibranium and her lab. Like I said, her lab is in the mountain. It's this spiral, these different levels. It's just beautiful, man. It's just so beautiful. Killmonger was brought to the throne where he revealed who he was and challenged the throne. The truth about him being the prince's son came out, and he looked at Madra. He said, "Hey, auntie." Now this is where we get into pure D, great Michael B. Jordan acting. Michael B. Jordan was an outsider to Wakanda. So he's not going to be just like everybody on Wakanda. He's not speaking in the African dialect. Why? Because he grew up in America. He grew up in the States. He comes through. He's the challenger to the throne. He's like the Fresh Prince coming into Bel Air, and he's like Will coming to Bel Air and challenging Uncle Phil. He's not from these parts. He's not made of money. He's from the hard knock streets of L.A. and Compton, and he's had a life where he's had to struggle, but he's also matured and got good education and all that good stuff. So he's not coming in like, oh yes, I am the royal. No, I'm here. Y'all killed my daddy. I want the throne. That's basically how he came into this movie, which I thought was just something that set apart from the rest of the movie. Again, like I said, he's an outsider, although he is Wakandan. The fight began because he decided to challenge T'Challa for. I'll keep getting T'Challa and T'Chaka mixed up. It's real easy because once you get to T'Chaka, it's either a cut or law. You know, so you got to make sure you got it, man. You got to make sure you got it. So the fight began. And within the fight, the Killmonger was just beating down Black Panther. Because when the fight started, they had to give T'Challa that potion that kept him from being able to have the powers of the Black Panther. Zuri stepped in and told him that he was the reason his father died, and he turned around and killed Zuri, just straight up killed him. He then beat T'Challa and threw him off of Warrior Falls and into the water, and Killmonger ended up becoming the king. Okoye said she was going to stay loyal to the throne, and the kid decided that she was going to work to overthrow Killmonger. The kid went and met Madra and Shuri in the woods along with Ross, and Killmonger went through the ceremony to go to the ancestral plane to see his father. met his father, and it was just a kind of a vague conversation. It was almost like a son to a man conversation. They weren't necessarily talking about what was going on right then and there, but it was kind of like a flashback to some of the things that he had told him before. So it was a cool scene there. It was a lot real symbolic. Killmonger, being the smart person that he is, working to overthrow a government, he told the people to burn. He took the heart shaped herb and was able to ingest it, because if you cannot ingest the heart shaped herb, you will go into a coma. You could possibly die. He told him. He said, "Burn all." He said, "Burn it all," which is what we saw in the trailer. What that does is that keeps anybody else from being able to ingest the heart-shaped herb to take the powers of the Black Panther. Now, inside the vibranium is rich in the soil, is rich in everything, and that's what some of the heart-shaped herb has taken up. That's why it has that beautiful purple glow. Like the color of it was just so beautiful, so beautiful. All right. So he told them burn all the heart-shaped herb, and they did it because he's the king. And one of the ladies questioned, she was like, "No, this is all we have." And he took her and he grabbed her by the throat and put her against the wall and said, "I'm your king now." I said, "Burn it all." And they burned all of the heart-shaped herb. And that was just like, what? But at the same time, Nakia is there watching it all. And she just happened to slip in and grab one of the heart-shaped herbs and was able to slip right on back out. Like I said, this would be something to prevent future kings and prevent future people from challenging his rule along with the same power level. His plan is to take over other countries out there, basically sharing the technology of Wakanda with the other Wakandan spies that are around the world, and to take over these countries, and to also in a sense help those countries that need help as well. Um, Nakia wants to take the heart-shaped herb to M'Baku and the white gorilla tribe because she feels like she can give it to M'Baku and he can come help save Wakanda from Killmonger's rule. The white gorilla tribe sits in the mountains, and their kingdom is beautiful as well. Seeing the gorilla effigy on the wall, seeing the gorilla hanging off of the mountain. They live up in the snow, so they have a lot of fur. Just beautiful, and they barking like the Q dogs. That's what we were laughing, and people laughing at me like these must be the Qs of Wakanda because they barking. The fishermen actually found T'Challa's body. It was some of M'Baku's fishermen. They found his body, and they end up giving him the heart-shaped herb. And M'Baku turned it down, basically saying he didn't want to help. Well, he wasn't going to help Wakanda, the Jabari tribe. They were going to stick to themselves and go on about their business. But they found his body, and they buried him down in the snow. Well, they didn't bury him in the snow. They covered him up in snow to keep his body cool because he was in a coma. If they removed him from there, he would eventually end up dying. They end up giving him the heart-shaped herb, and they buried him in the snow, and he went into the ancestral plane. Before that, Ross tried to speak to the gorilla tribe about what was going on, and they just started barking. They're like, "Hey, hey, 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 hey!" Basically, I mean, shut up. You have no place to speak here. You are outsider. Just leave it and shut up. He went to the ancestral plane and talked to his father. And when he was talking to his father, he asked his father, why? Why did you kill your brother? Why didn't you at least bring Eric back? And he told him, he said, it's one of those truths I had to omit. And he was really mad at his father for doing so. And it's understood. It's like believing everything you believed about your father or a loved one, and then come to find out that they just do crazy. They've done something wrong too, man. It can take you there. It can take you to a place where you just don't understand what's really going on or what's really life. T'Challa ended up waking up. His plan was to go back to Wakanda and stop Killmonger. He asked M'Baku for help just as well as they had Nakia and everybody asked him for help before, and M'Baku said no, he wasn't going to risk the lives of his people for his fight with Eric Killmonger. Wakabi is all for the plans of Killmonger as well. He wanted to go along with them. Killmonger had planes going out to deliver weapons to the Wakandan spies across the world to start his reign. Killmonger had got the gold suit that Shuri had made and started a fight with the Dora Milaje, while Wakabi's people was fighting T'Challa because T'Challa came back, took down the plane, and he was ready to go. T'Challa killed one of the Dora Milaje, and it was on at that point. Wakabi ended up calling these big rhinos. We saw these big rhinos earlier that Wakabi was feeding. And this was, I guess, that was one of the things I had an issue in the movie. Of course, well, I really can't call it an issue because there aren't big, giant, million-pound rhinos walking around the earth like there were in Wakanda. but they did have this floaty CGI graphic. You could tell it was real deal CGI because when they walked off, it was like you could tell it was like straight up real deal CGI. But that's one of the main only issues I have with this movie. Some of the CGI in some places, mainly stuff like that, was a little off. Okay, like I say, he called a big rhinos having to fight. And Wakabi's people wear these large garments that they can turn into shields that, of course, made of vibranium. This is what they wear around them every day, and they can flip it around them, and it turns into a straight-up big force field or a shield where it can either help them in an attack, where they're being attacked, or barricade somebody in, which they end up doing. They end up barricading in Nakia and Okoye in the fight. Shuri ended up putting Ross in this remote control ship to stop the vibranium from leaving Wakanda. There was a ship also being flown by one of Killmonger's people that was also attacking the lab. Shuri got her Panther gauntlets, and she also got Nakia or Dora Milaje's suit as well to help in the fight with these rings that she was using made of vibranium to throw at people and to hit people with. And Ross is because Ross was a fighter pilot, coming up in the military. His task was to shoot down the ships to keep them from leaving Wakanda and spreading out Wakandan weapons and technology to other parts of the world. The Panther gauntlets were awesome. They were able to shoot vibranium blasts. I absolutely love that. Ross ended up stopping all of the ships. And as the fight grew bigger and the Dora Milaje were losing, M'Baku and the Jabara came to help. And it was like, okay, M'Baku's here. He came and grabbed Wakabi by the neck. And that's the scene that we see in the movie, man. He just grabbed this man by the neck. This big dude just grabbed him by the neck, man. Just awesome cast, man. Y'all don't understand. The cast of this movie is just so epic. All right. T'Challa and Killmonger end up fighting in the Vibranium Mountain along the train track. And what he told Shuri to do was turn on the train. Now, with the train moving, that means that the vibranium in the suit would not work, which would, in a sense, make the fight a fair fight. So every time the train would come around the track, they were able to fight, of course, with the powers of the suit or whatnot and with the powers of the heart-shaped herb. But he ended up defeating Killmonger. He ended up stabbing Killmonger in the chest. And it was like, okay, Killmonger's dead. Now what? Now, another thing was the fact of Claw. And I said I was going to talk about Claw earlier. They just killed Claw off like he was of no use anymore. And again, but we have to understand, Claw's not the main villain here. He wasn't the main villain. The main villain was Eric Killmonger. Claw was just going to be the tie-in back to what happened in Wakanda prior to, because I got to remember, we've already seen Claw in Age of Ultron. So there wasn't really any need to make him the forefront. But Andy Serkis played Claw just beautifully. He was comedic. He was hilarious. He played that character beautifully. Okay. So Wakabi ended up yielding to his wife Okoye when she said that she would kill him in the name of Wakanda because they were at odds. Wakabi's people, like I said, they were all for what Killmonger wanted to do, and they were at odds with each other. And he said, "Would you really kill me, my love, for Wakanda?" She said, "Yeah." He ended up yielding. Just all right, I'm a yield. The wife said so. It is what it is. It is what it is. T'Challa did give Killmonger the option to live. They said, "We can heal you." But Killmonger said he'd rather die in the ocean where his ancestor jumped off the boat. That's a real death. And that he'd rather, the quote that he made, he'd rather die than to be kept in bondage. And I thought that was real deep and symbolic with what we have going on today. T'Challa ended up asking the kid to stay, and they ended up sharing a kiss. T'Challa took Shuri to California to the building where T'Chaka killed Njobu, and he said that he bought that building and other buildings around to start a Wakandan outreach program that the kid would spearhead, and that Shuri would all be in charge of the science and technology. She was just greatly excited about that. We got to remember, guys, if y'all don't know, Shuri is only 16 years old. So to be just as beautifully and as smart as she is just amazing that she's the head of everything there. That's the end of this movie, everybody. This movie was just beautiful. I absolutely loved it. I'm going to see it again. I'm taking my wife tomorrow. I know I'm going to see it a third time, maybe next week or something. I just absolutely love Black Panther. I want to know what you all thought about it in the comments below. Let's talk spoilers. Let's get deep into Black Panther. What was in the movie, what you liked, what you didn't like. Let's really get into this movie, all right? Now, end credit scene. That's a thing in itself, man. We get T'Challa going to the UN to say that Wakanda would start working with the rest of the world, which is something that T'Chaka was doing in Civil War until he was killed. So what does this mean now? This means that in other movies, we could see Wakanda pop up. We may not necessarily go to Wakanda, but it can be like, oh, okay, we're here in Japan, and this right here is stuff from the Wakandan technology. This helped with Japan survive from this some tsunami that they were going to have, or we're over here in this country, and this little thing here is something we got from Wakanda. So we're going to now see Wakanda popping up, especially when you go and address the United Nations. That is the United Nations in Siena. That's all of the countries all over the entire earth, the globe, the world. So we're going to see Wakanda flourishing and bit by bit reaching out to other nations and giving assistance and giving help. It's another end trailer. You never leave a Marvel movie, and I understand why people do that. They're just I don't get it. I don't get it. We get these three kids staring at somebody in the tent, and whoever it was woke up, and the kids ran away, and they said, "Oh, the white wolf, the white wolf." A figure walks out in this African garb, and it's my boy Bucket. He don't have that arm, but he walks out. His hair done grew out. He looks calm and peaceful, like he's been living in this little small village for a while since they've woken him up from stasis. You got to remember, you got to get him up and get him prepared for Infinity War. They weren't just gonna wake him up out of the ice straight up in the beginning of Infinity War. He had to be prepared, and he walks out. They call him the White Wolf. We found out that the White Wolf was an outsider that actually came to Wakanda in the comics, and he was a white guy, and he adopted the country of Wakanda and became head of the Wakandan secret security or the police. So that actually happened in the comics, and you know how MCU likes to mix stuff up and bring stuff to fruition. I believe that's going to be the role that Bucky is going to play, being a part of Wakanda, adopting Wakanda as a country, because I know he doesn't want to go back to America. Wakanda is going to be his new country, and this White Wolf could either be an Easter egg or could really be what he's going to be for the people of Wakanda. It comes down to Shuri, and she asked him how he was doing, and Shuri he told her thank you so much, and he said that she had come with her, that he has a lot to learn. So Shuri's plan, or the plan that we know of, which was in the prelude comic for the Black Panther movie, was her plan was to work using the Wakandan technology to eliminate those trigger words in his brain, so nobody would ever be able to control him again. Whew, y'all, that's it. That's all I got for the spoilers review. Again, let's talk about this in the comments below, whether you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching this on Facebook. You know who we are, everybody. We're Families and Honors. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check us out everywhere, all of our social media pages. You see the links right there. That's where we are here on social media. We'll see you guys in another video.